Statistics South Africa says unemployment in South Africa stands at 27.7%. South Africa is seeing its highest unemployment number since 2003. Anglo American Platinum has this year retrenched 8,500 workers. Yesterday, Pick n Pay announced that it completed a retrenchment process that would see over 3,000 workers retrenched. Trade union Cosatu says they want a job summit over these and other issues. Cosatu President Stumbo Dlamini joins me in studio for more on this. Thanks so much for your time on SABC News. What's a job summit and what are you hoping to achieve with it?
Well, thank you very much for having us this afternoon. I must say, before even directly responding to that one, it doesn't rain, it pours. And the workers, the poor, the working class feel it. We have indeed called for a job summit by the end of this year because we're facing a crisis. You have just articulately defined it. The employers are willy-nilly retrenching. On the list that we have just spoken about, you must also talk about even the 114 workers from Johnson's & Johnson's who are facing such retrenchment. You must talk about Bokoni Mine in Limpopo that wants to retrench more than 6,000 workers. You must talk about the Rainbow Chicken employees who are facing the same retrenchment already, some of them. That industry is being wiped out, whilst at the same time the companies, the organizations still rake millions in bonuses for themselves. They are comfortable profiteering in the different companies they own. This is a crisis. Cosatu has indeed called for the job summit because we must discuss unemployment and job losses in South Africa is structural. It is designed to happen that way because of the wrong policies that we are implementing in this country, because of our failure and our fear to disrupt the status quo where white monopoly capital in particular still occupies the space. The financial sector is comfortable. People are raking out millions and putting them elsewhere in Sweden and other countries, and they are not investing here at home. The threats of the fourth industrial revolution, as they call it, is facing us here, which is what Pick n Pay will use as an excuse that they've got to cut costs, they've got to mechanize and turn it into new technologies, whilst workers, and it is not numbers, it is workers, it is people with families that are losing jobs. Mm-hmm.
With something like a job summit and policy, in order for it to be implemented properly, the people behind it, such as the governing party, the tripartite alliance, need to be working with one voice and presenting one voice. That's currently not happening. The tripartite alliance is very fragile. It seems like a very messy situation there. So how is it possible to try and fix a solution when this part is not working properly?
It's going to be very, very difficult, and that's why we're working quite hard day and night to ensure that we fix those issues. We just come out of the NEC Lekgotla, where all the alliance partners were there. We're trying to say things that do not work, let's identify them and put them aside. Let us fix what we need to be fixing. For instance, you have the National Development Plan, which is still reliant on the old gear style of an approach in as far as the macroeconomy is concerned. We are saying we will not change the course if we do not review the economic chapter of the NDP, if we do not relook the labor market chapter of the NDP. Fortunately, in this last Lekgotla of the ANC, there was agreement that we must set up a meeting quick of the task team that must deal with that area of work. We hope we'll be coming up with something that we can tell the country. But we're doing so now when we should have done that in 2013, and now the country is in a tactical recession. It's going to be weighing heavy again on those discussions.
As a union, do you feel, you've spoken about the fourth industrial revolution that's coming, technology and the way that we work is going to change fundamentally with things like autonomous vehicles coming in. Do you need to look at the labor sector and say we need to completely disrupt it and the way people work instead of reacting at the end when there's retrenchments? Because that also seems like perhaps it's not working.
Most definitely, and we shouldn't even waste time not entering that space, because you can do a few things. One, you can train and prepare the worker today for the change that is coming down the line and get the worker to be ready for the next 10 to 15 years to match the technology that is coming. That's one thing you can do. But one other thing you can do, just ignore what is coming up, but create a new economic environment which must disrupt what is coming, so that then you build new economies that is going to ensure that those who are at work or supposed to be at work find work to do. Because now we're just flowing because the new technology is coming and we're trying to run behind the new technology, something you don't win. So prepare, train and retrain those who are on the job, train new people that must be ready for that, but also disrupt them by creating new avenues for people to work, so that reindustrialize the economy, beneficiate here, and ensure that people are employed.
Cosatu President Duma Dlamini, thanks so much for your time on SABC News.